The Northern Virginia real estate market has become one of the strangest markets I've seen in my career. And I don't mean strange in the polite real estate agent way where we say, well, it's a unique market, because nobody wants to admit that the market is behaving like a raccoon got into the control room. I mean genuinely strange. The numbers are basically arguing with each other. Inventory is improving, but supply is still historically tight. Prices are cooling, but homes are still selling around full price or above. The economy is softening, but the region is still adding population. Buyers feel cautious, but the good homes still disappear almost immediately. And if you watched my last video about why the Northern Virginia market was getting weird, today we finally have the data that proves it. So the question is no longer, is the market hot or cold? The real question is Northern Virginia finally cooling, or is it just becoming a weirder, more selective version of the same competitive market? And honestly, the answer is both. That is what we are unpacking today in this video. Let's start with the part people don't expect. Northern Virginia has actually lost roughly 7,900 jobs year to date in 2026. Now, before everyone panics and starts forwarding doom headlines to their spouse at 11:30 at night, those losses are not hitting every part of Northern Virginia equally. A lot of the softness has been connected to tech, contracting, and white-collar professional sectors, which is one reason we're seeing slightly more hesitation and thinking time in places like Tyson's, Reston, parts of Arlington's luxury condo market, and some higher-end buyer segments. Now, to be clear, this is not 2008. This is not abandon ship. This is not sell your home and move to a bunker in West Virginia. But it matters because Northern Virginia is used to feeling economically bulletproof. Federal government, defense contractors, healthcare, consulting, tech, law firms, people whose job titles sound like a committee of acronyms made them up. So when Northern Virginia actually shows job losses, people notice. But here's the funny part. It doesn't necessarily feel weak. Try getting dinner reservations in Old Town Alexandria. Try parking at Mosaic on a Saturday. Try going to Costco in Pentagon City without questioning modern civilization. Northern Virginia still feels crowded, expensive, busy, so the economic data says slow down. But the lived experience says, where did all these people come from? And that contradiction flows directly into the housing market. Buyers are more cautious now. They're asking tougher questions. They are thinking longer, but they still need homes. They still need schools. They still need commutes. They still need a home office that is not also the laundry room and Amazon box cemetery. That's the first major insight. A softer mood does not automatically mean a soft market. Some important sectors are down this year: professional and technical services, transportation and warehousing, manufacturing, and of course parts of federal employment. But the important question for housing is not simply, are jobs up or down? The better question is, which jobs, which buyers, and which neighborhoods? A first-time condo buyer in Alexandria experiences the search and interest rates differently than a dual-income couple buying a $1.3 million home in Vienna. A government contractor with stable income behaves differently than a tech worker who's worried about layoffs. A downsizer in McLean with 25 years of equity is playing a completely different game than a young family trying to buy in North Arlington. Northern Virginia buyers are not one giant blob. They are more like a stressed, highly educated, over-caffeinated parade of micro-demographics. Young professionals near Metro, families chasing school pyramids, military transfers, international buyers, investors, downsizers, people moving because the second child finally made the condo impossible. People moving because they can't spend one more year commuting from 3 counties away. And look, I know real estate agents have a reputation for always saying it's a great time to buy and a great time to sell, which is basically the horoscope version of market analysis. But genuinely, this market is slightly nuanced right now. Some segments are still highly competitive, some are softening, some sellers are winning, some are chasing the market downward. That's why broad national headlines are becoming less useful here in Northern Virginia. Now, here's where Northern Virginia separates itself from a lot of the country. The region is still growing. The Northern Virginia area added roughly 14,453 new residents, and much of Virginia's growth is being driven by international migration. That is a huge deal for Northern Virginia because this is one of the most internationally connected housing markets in America. Embassies, World Bank, IMF, defense contractors, federal agencies, healthcare systems, universities, international nonprofits, government-adjacent consulting. They come because this region has an economic ecosystem. That creates a demand floor, not unlimited demand, not prices can never fall. That's nonsense. But it does mean Northern Virginia has a deeper buyer pool than many markets around the country. In some places, if the economy softens, demand evaporates. Here, demand bends. It becomes pickier. It becomes price sensitive, but it rarely just disappears. That's why people waiting for a dramatic crash keep getting frustrated. They expect a cliff. Northern Virginia keeps giving them a curb. Now, let me show you what this actually feels like on the ground. Because one thing the charts cannot fully capture is the emotional exhaustion in this market. Buyers are tired of rates. Sellers are tired of uncertainty. Everyone is tired of contradictory headlines. And Northern Virginia somehow manages to feel deeply competitive and deeply cautious at the exact same time. That's the weirdness. Northern Virginia's sales are actually up about 5% year over year. That matters because after the frozen market of the last couple of years, even modest movement matters. It means people are moving again, not joyfully skipping through mortgage applications, but life is starting to overpower interest rates. Life happens. Babies are born, jobs change, parents age, marriages happen, divorces happen, commutes become unbearable. People can delay moves, but they cannot delay life forever. Here's the important part. More sales does not mean easy conditions. It means more people are participating in a still constrained market. That's why buyers can hear inventory is improving, sales are up, prices are cooling, and still lose a house to somebody offering over asking price. That's the emotional whiplash of Northern Virginia real estate. The local numbers are where things get really interesting. Alexandria's sales are basically flat. Fairfax is down slightly. Arlington is up. Falls Church jumps sharply. And this is where we need an outlier alert. Falls Church City is tiny, which means a handful of high-end sales can dramatically swing percentages. So when you see things like plus 18% prices or 64 days on market, it does not automatically mean the market exploded or collapsed. It means small sample sizes create louder statistical swings. That's important context because Alexandria is not Arlington. Arlington is not Fairfax. Fairfax is not Falls Church. And Fairfax County itself contains McLean mansions, Springfield Ramblers, Burke townhomes, Reston condos, and Centerville colonials. There is no single Northern Virginia market anymore. There are micro markets. That's where smart buyers and sellers make better decisions. Now, here's the chart that buyers have been waiting for. New listings in Northern Virginia are up roughly 12%. That is real. Buyers are seeing more options. And emotionally, that matters because in 2021 and 2022, buyers would open the MLS and feel like they were looking at the leftovers table at a yard sale. 3 homes available, one with foundation issues, one next to a 6-lane road, and one where every room was painted a different shade of emotional distress. Now, there are more listings, but still not enough. But there are more, and buyers are asking better questions. Why is that condo fee so high? Why has this been sitting 18 days? This is healthier, but buyers should not confuse more inventory with easy market because you may have leverage on the wrong house. The stale listing, maybe. The overpriced listing, probably. The renovated townhouse near Metro with parking and outdoor space, no. You and everybody else still want that one. That is why buyers still feel stressed. Inventory may be improving broadly, but usable inventory is still limited. This is one of the most important shifts happening right now. Still competitive, but at higher price points, buyers become much more selective. At $2 million, people are not just buying shelter. They're buying taste, schools, privacy, architecture, lot size, lifestyle. So if the home is overpriced, awkward, dated, buyers hesitate. That is the shift. Buyers have not disappeared. They have become more judgmental. And frankly, some sellers needed that. The 2021 market trained sellers to believe that if they put a sign in the yard, buyers would sprint towards the house. That market is mostly gone. Today, sellers need pricing discipline. They need preparation. They need some staging. They need good photography. And yes, they need to fix the weird stuff, including the maroon carpet. This may be the single most important chart in the entire report. Northern Virginia has roughly 1.6 months of supply. A balanced market is usually around 4 to 6 months. Northern Virginia is nowhere near that. This is still a seller favorite market. Maybe not the gladiator arena insanity of 2021, but it's still tight. And historically, this is the whole story. The market improved from absurdly low supply to merely very low supply. That is not the same thing as normal. Realtor language, inventory is improving. Translation, you now have 5 choices instead of 2. Realtor language, cooling market. Translation, the bidding war now has 3 offers instead of 11. Realtor language, longer days on market. Translation, you had enough time to eat lunch before writing and submitting your offer. Now, let's talk about the stat getting the most attention. Median prices in the Northern Virginia region are down roughly 5% year to date. But here's the problem. Median price is not the same thing as individual home value. If Northern Virginia suddenly sells 50 more condos this month and fewer luxury detached homes, then the median price drops. But your renovated 4-bedroom house in Waynewood didn't suddenly lose value overnight. This is where headlines and statistics become dangerous. They flatten a very complicated local market into one dramatic number. That said, we should acknowledge the cooling. Prices are not rising the way that they were. Buyers are more sensitive. Overpricing your home is riskier. Conditions matter more, and sellers pretending it's still 2021 are going to have a bad time. The market is still strong, but it is less forgiving. Strong does not mean stupid. Northern Virginia homes are still selling on average around full asking price or even above. That is not what a collapsing market looks like. Now, yes, some homes are reducing their prices. Some are sitting on the market. Some are overpriced. Some sellers are chasing the market downward. But overall demand is still present. The market has shifted from frantic to competitive. Most of core Northern Virginia is still moving quickly. Alexandria, about 7 days. Arlington, about 7 days. Fairfax County, around 6 days. That is not slow. That is still, you better go see it this weekend territory. But compared to the peak frenzy, buyers now have slightly more breathing room. And honestly, that's healthy. In 2021, buyers sometimes had to make life-changing decisions in 20 minutes while standing in a kitchen with 14 other people pretending not to listen to each other. Now, buyers may actually sleep on it, ask questions, read disclosures, think. That's progress. But don't confuse more civilized with slow. If you're buying, don't assume every home is negotiable. That's lazy strategy. But also don't assume every house will become a 14 offer bidding war. That's trauma from 2021 talking. Evaluate each home individually. How long has it been on the market? How does it compare to recent sales? Is it priced correctly? Is there buyer resistance? Is the condition strong? On some homes, you still need aggression. On others, you finally have some room to negotiate. Knowing the difference can save you a lot of money. If you're starting a home search in Northern Virginia, reach out to me directly. Not because every person watching needs to buy tomorrow, but because broad national advice is becoming less useful. Your price range, your commute, your neighborhood, your property type all dramatically change the strategy. I can help you narrow down what's actually happening in your specific segment of the market. If you're selling, this is not a bad market, but it is a less forgiving market. You cannot just throw a price at the wall and assume buyers will thank you for the privilege. You need pricing discipline, preparation, presentation, strategy, and honesty about condition, because buyers are now doing something dangerous. They are thinking. I know, terrifying. They are thinking about monthly payments, repairs, resale, commutes, condo fees. The best sellers will still do well, but the lazy sellers will get exposed. If you're thinking about selling, this is exactly why you should get a real local pricing and positioning consultation before making decisions. Not a Zestimate, not your neighbor's opinion, not my cousin in Florida says the market is crashing. A real local analysis, your neighborhood, your condition, your buyer pool, your timing, your competition. If you want me to walk through that with you, reach out anytime. I'll give you a practical strategy, not hype and not doom. Northern Virginia is not magical. It is not protected by an invisible force field powered by Whole Foods, security clearances, and school ranking, but it is structurally different. Limited land, high incomes, federal ecosystem, fence contracting, international migration, strong schools, established neighborhoods that people actually want, very little new close-in single-family construction. When a region has persistent demand and limited supply, prices tend to be resilient. Not invincible, resilient. So what's the real story? The story is not the market is crashing. The story is also not nothing has changed. Both are wrong. The real story is Northern Virginia is shifting from a frantic seller's market to a selective seller's market. Sellers still have leverage because supply remains low, but buyers are more selective because affordability is stretched. Inventory is improving, but not enough to create true balance. Prices are cooling, but not uniformly. Homes are taking slightly longer, but still selling quickly. The market is somewhat softer, but it is not weak. That is the weirdness. And honestly, that's why this market refuses to fit into simple headlines. If you're thinking about buying, selling, relocating, downsizing, or just trying to figure out where your part of Northern Virginia fits into all of this, please reach out to me directly, because broad national advice really is not enough anymore. The difference between Arlington and Alexandria, Fairfax and Falls Church, condos and detached homes, metro accessible and car dependent, can literally mean hundreds of thousands of dollars and a completely different experience. So if you want help understanding your neighborhood, your home value, your timing, or your search strategy, I would be very happy to help. The Northern Virginia market may still be weird, but if you understand the weirdness, you can actually use it to your advantage.